So today is the 10-year anniversary of Batman Arkham Knight, the end of a fantastic trilogy which told a fantastic story and revolutionized modern combat systems across the land. A story about mental health and legacy and what was supposed to be the end of an era. But seeing some of the things that followed, can we admit the public might have been a little harsh on this game? Even recently, it took a huge dumpster fire for a lot of people to circle back and realize, maybe it's not that bad. And I'm not saying it's perfect. I have my gripes. I'll get those out the way first. The most major one I saw upon this game's release was folks weren't too fond of how frequent you had to be in the Batmobile, which I get it. I didn't hate it, but I can see why people did, and I do think that was a disappointing way to end the Deathstroke story. The pig side quest. Cool ending, but leading up to it, it just felt like Hush from Arkham City recycled. The actual confrontation between Bruce Wayne and Thomas Elliott was dope to see though. The Batgirl DLC, great, but the fact that y'all took that as another excuse to further force Tim and Barbara on us, like, we know, we get there a couple, we did not need to see more of it. Jason Todd's Robin was right there. And I can't find the original YouTube video, but the fact that almost immediately after this came out, somebody wrote a fan fiction where all of this was just a memory Barb was reliving while induced by fear toxin, only she swapped out Jason for her boyfriend, and the entire fandom basically said, yep, that's canon, says something. And my biggest one, especially as a Kingdom Hearts fan, I make this request to y'all as well, because I know this game is going to keep getting ported. Add New Game Plus in there. And I mean like continuously. I want to play through the story more than just twice. And you can tell it was at this point in the franchise that Warner Brothers started to pay attention, because it is very obvious where Rocksteady was in their bag, and then painfully obvious where some executive just stuck their head in the room and said, sprinkle this in there, we can make a few bucks. I mean, you see they put Arkham Origins out before this with none of the original team attached, and to add insult to injury, there's this story Kevin Conroy tells where he got fussed at because at a convention a fan asked him if he's ready for the next Arkham game. He was talking about this, the fan was talking about Origins, and neither one had any idea what the other one was talking about. Yes, how dare you almost spoil a game we excluded you from and didn't tell you about on purpose. And then those DLC stories, which weren't really stories, they were just challenge maps with a little custom dialogue and some reaction commands to fake being a cutscene. Now the Red Hood DLC, which if I remember correctly was a pre-order bonus, did the same thing, but it was cool for what it was as part of the game's rollout. But in setting up a world post-Batman, the best thing y'all could think of was take that same formula and hey, let's do that 3 more times. Now on the other hand, City of Infamy, chef's kiss. Getting the end to so many of those people's stories, Mad Hatter, Killer Croc, whose revenge tale I kind of understand. Adding him to the Iceberg Lounge though, like you want me to get 1,000,000 points on an already difficult challenge map, which then turns into a boss fight and I don't get my health back? Y'all got it. I appreciate it. But y'all got it. It's already hard enough. Giving Mr. Freeze and Nora a happy ending. Ra's al Ghul, which I know they give you a choice, but there is clearly an obvious one to make. The man has lived long enough. Let him go. As for the base game, free flow combat is godlike. The way you can work all those weapons and even the Batmobile into your combos, the tag team ability, Predator challenges, and the fact that there's almost like endless ways on how you can clear a room. Hands down my favorite part, the constant banter from Mark Hamill's Joker. I try to say beating the story is like the very last thing I do because it's almost not as fun to play once he's gone. And even the little details they show to how he is slowly starting to infect your mind as you get further in the game. One example is like if you look at the signs in the environment and how they slowly morph into you offing him in different ways, the more he gets on your nerves as the story progresses. And who programmed the Man-Bat? Because I have played through this story multiple times, and each time I try to prepare and brace for it, and every time it catches me off guard. The slight GTA aspect where you can just help the police chase down criminals in your car. Even the Harley Quinn stuff and basically finding out that inside her head is just a never-ending argument between her split personalities 24/7. Overall, I think this game has aged very well over the last decade, adapting Under the Red Hood, which to this day is still one of my favorite and I think one of the best animated Batman films. Why Young Justice set this up and then just never followed through on it, I'll never understand. And then with the characters and the voice cast, it was basically like Batman the Animated Series, the video game. It's like almost like the show got to follow along with us as we grew up and got older. Also, the fact that they made the choice at the time to take what felt like a hit of getting an M rating, but they felt like it was the only way they could authentically tell this story and close it out properly. Bold move and one I really respect. And clearly the reputation this game and franchise has is being felt at home base because they've tried to ride its coattails 3 times already and 2 of those bombed. And I know Gotham Knights is a different universe, but come on, one franchise ends with Nightfall and suddenly your new one starts with it. Okay. But I'm curious, how are we feeling about Arkham Knight after all these years? And of course, rest in peace to the Batman, our beloved Kevin Conroy. Happy 10th.